Good morning, guys. So I have the house all to myself right now because Kobe's on a walk. So I'm gonna make some coffee, and I thought it'd be fun to hang out and catch up on life because there's been a lot of craziness this month. I feel like at least one situation that I want to talk about and debrief because it was traumatizing for me and just so crazy. So maybe not that crazy, it may not be that serious, but I think it's crazy. So we're gonna talk about it. Okay. So, like I said before, we have a lot to chit chat about. Not really, okay, really just one major thing to talk about, but I thought I'd just kind of debrief the past month of my life, I guess. So for the 4th of July, Kobe and I went to my dad's in North Carolina, and my sisters and their families came. So my entire immediate family was all together, which was so nice because it is so hard to get us all together anymore because we literally all live in different states. And of course, all have very busy lives, so it's hard to get us all together anymore. So it was really nice to have us all together for once. So that was really fun, and I'm making a vlog for that right now. There's so much footage, and I hate editing, so it's taking forever for me to edit it, but the plan is to have it out before this video. So hopefully you've already seen it. If not, go watch it. But then on July 8th, that Monday after the 4th of July, we all left. So I left, my sisters left. We all got back to our lives, our normal lives. That day was kind of really sad because I didn't want to leave. I seriously think I could have stayed there a whole other week and it still wouldn't have been enough. I really love North Carolina now. It has seriously taken a piece of my heart and I just want to be there all the time now, and of course just be closer to my dad and my family. I think that's the biggest thing, is that I just miss my family. I miss having a community around me because, to be honest, we don't really have friends in Indy. We've been living here for 3 years, so it's been kind of really lonely. It's getting to a point where it's not fun. Literally last night, Kobe and I actually went out to Pins, which is, I think they call it an arcade bar, where it's a bar, but you have a lot of games to play. Pins specifically is surrounded by their duck pin bowling, which was so fun. It was so fun. I want to go back. And I wish we could have played multiple games of it, but it's kind of expensive per person. So it was kind of a one game and done kind of situation, but we'll definitely go back. But that was really fun. We both kind of just decided that we need to get our toes dipped in the social scene and try and make some friends, hopefully. Because I'm not in school and I don't have a job that, I have coworkers that I could make friends with. And Kobe's not in school right at the very moment, so it's like we kind of have to put the effort in to go out and try and make friends. So fingers crossed that we can do that, because we'll be here for another 2 years probably. And I don't want to be lonely for that much longer, quite frankly. But anyways, let's get into the real part of the story that I wanted to talk about, which was July 9th, which was the Tuesday that we got back. So that was the day that we got back in the swing of life, swing of reality, got back into work. And if you're new here or just simply don't know, my line of work is dog walking and dog sitting. That Tuesday, I had a bunch of dogs to walk. Really not a bunch, just a few. But my very first dog of the day, I won't say his name or his owner's name for the sake of just keeping that private, but he's a really big Great Dane. Probably about the same weight as me, or maybe even a little bit more, so just keep that in mind as far as how big he is. A little background on the dog. So I had only been walking him for about 2 weeks, I think, and then I was gone that week for the 4th of July in North Carolina. So we didn't really know each other that well yet. He had just made a major cross-country move. I think they said that they were from the West Coast, and his owner, I believe she said that she used to work from home a lot of the time, But now that she's moved here, she works in person a lot and like long hours. So this dog is not only going through a major environment change, but also he's at home alone a lot more, and his person isn't there as often, you know? And I believe he's a bit older too, but I'm not entirely sure on that part. But just keep that in mind as I tell this story, because I feel like those are major factors in the way that he acted. So that Tuesday was the first time I saw him again after a week. Like I said before, we still were getting used to each other. So he wasn't like, oh my gosh, she's my friend. It was more so like, okay, still getting used to you, still trying to understand why you're here, you know, trying to get used to the fact that, oh, okay, when she's here, when I see her, she's here to take me on a walk kind of thing. So anyways, I get to his house. He's my very first dog of the day, and he's always sleeping on his owner's bed upstairs. So I go straight up and, well, first of all, okay, I walk in the door. I take my shoes off, of course, because she has carpet upstairs and she'd rather me not wear shoes. That's fine. So I take my shoes off and I put my keys and phone down on the entryway table. And in my head, for some reason, I'm like, I feel like I should be bringing my phone with me. I feel like I'll need it. But then I was like, no, it's okay. We'll be back down in a few minutes. It's fine. God, I wish I listened to that gut feeling. But I went up. He was on the bed sleeping. He saw me walking into the room, and so obviously I knew that, like, since we weren't really familiar with each other yet, I couldn't just like go up to him and be like, hey, like start petting him. So I went close up to him and I put my hand out like this for him to sniff my hand so he can get some familiarity from me and my scent. And that's where things took a major turn. He sniffed it for about a second and started growling at me, and he's growled at me a little bit before, but like just for like a second or two. And I'm like, okay, let me back off. I'll give you a second. This growl did not stop, and it felt a lot more intense from the second it came out of him. And I started getting up. So thankfully I was already in the process of getting up. But this growl did not stop, and he quickly got up and started hauling booty at me, okay? And I screamed and I just sprinted out of there, and thankfully there was a bathroom right next door to her bedroom. So I just bolted straight in there and slammed the door shut. But he did get me. He bit me. He bit me on my butt. So can't really show you any pictures or anything. I'm so grateful that it was a bathroom that I ran into and slammed the door shut on, because at least there was a mirror there for me to quickly look at the bite right away. So basically what it looks like, since I can't show you a picture, is he didn't break skin at all. He like very slightly broke skin, but not enough to even get it to bleed. So that was a major plus. And he didn't even break through any of my clothes or anything that I was wearing. So he just got me enough that it hurt and was terrifying, but not enough that he hurt me really, really bad. But basically it kind of looks like 2 line marks, I think, or at least one major one. And then it's just very bruised, like all around. So I got into the bathroom and I slammed the door shut, and I was freaking out. I've never had a bad situation with a dog, not like this. I've never been bitten by a dog, and I seriously never thought it would ever happen to me. But I was in the bathroom and I just looked at myself in the mirror, and I was shaking. I was so red. I was crying, and just think of a panic attack kind of cry, like you're so shocked and like what the hell just happened. I was looking at myself in the mirror, literally trembling and just so terrified. Don't be playing with my book. Neely, not a good girl. Weirdo. Anyways, so I was in the bathroom, and I was so scared in that moment, because I was like, what the hell do I do? I don't have my phone to call anyone. I'm scared to leave this bathroom as he's standing right outside of it waiting to attack me again. So after a few seconds of me just like taking some deep breaths and calling myself down, I cracked the door open, peeked out, didn't see him, opened it a little bit more, like looked around the corner kind of thing to see if I saw him, and I couldn't see him anywhere. And so then I looked over the banister, the stair banister, and he was at the bottom of the stairs. So I was like, well, shit, how do I get out of this house? Because that's the only way out. I'm upstairs. So basically what I did, which I don't even know how I did this after he just did that to me, but I went to the stairs and I kind of started just like calmly talking to him. I was like, buddy, I need to leave, and I will, but I need you to move. Like, I need you to come upstairs. I need you to go back to bed. I need you to calm down so I can leave. I promise I'll leave. I won't come near you. I won't try and take you on a walk or anything. Like, I just need to leave. I will leave you alone. I'll never come back. I was just saying some random shit to calm him down, calm myself down, because I didn't know what to do. I was so lost and so confused with what the heck to do. Since I didn't have my phone to call anyone, to call the owner and be like, hey, can you come home? Like, your dog just bit me. I need you, because you're the only one he trusts. So, goodness. I think at that moment, I started to like slowly creep down the stairs. At this point, he was laying down at the bottom of the stairs. But I walked down a handful of them, and then once I got to a certain point that it was like kind of scary and like I didn't want to seem like I was trying to be alpha in the moment, I sat down on the stairs and I again started talking to him really like calmly and quietly. And I would just like slowly scoot my butt down one more step at a time. And I got pretty close to him. And in my head, I was like, okay, if I just keep doing this, and then once I get close to him, I just slowly creep past him and then sprint. It's like, I can get out. I'm so happy I never did that, because that's not how it would have ended. And I think we both know that. You and I think we both know that he would have attacked me again. Because the reason I never ended up doing it was because the closer I got to him, the more I could hear him growling under his breath again. And I was wearing a raincoat. So like my brain was like, is he growling at me? Or am I just hearing my raincoat like move against itself? But I think he was growling at me. And I was still so shaky at this point and so scared and terrified of my life. So I just went back upstairs and I started looking around for like a toy for him or something to like get him distracted or in a better mood, or like a treat. Couldn't find anything. All I found was a couple pillows that didn't have cases on them in the guest bedroom. So I took one and I used it as like a shield for my shins. And I tried to do the creeping down the stairs thing again. And I tried that a couple times. Couldn't do it. Always ended up back upstairs. I'm seriously so grateful I never even tried, because thinking about doing that now, I'm like, he would have probably chewed me up if I did that. He would have gotten me real bad. So at this point, I was so scared and so hopeless. I literally just felt hopeless. Like, I'm never gonna get out of here. I'm gonna be stuck here until this owner gets home from work, which would probably be like 7 or 8, and it was like 12 p.m. when this was happening. So I was so hopeless that I literally went to the one camera in her home, which was set up in her room, which, by the way, this camera, if it was on, caught the entire situation of him hauling ass at me and attacking me. But anyways, I went up to the camera and I just started talking to her. I started talking to her through the camera, the owner, because I was like, okay, maybe this is one of those cameras that you have an app on your phone and it notifies you that something's in front of it, unusual activities in front of it, someone's talking to it. I don't know, maybe she looks at it to see if I'm there with her dog. I don't know, I was just hoping for the best. So then as I was doing that, there was a window right next to me, and I was like, getting ideas. I was like, I think I'm gonna have to jump out a window. I think that's the only way I'm gonna get out. I have other dogs I need to go take care of today. I need to leave for the sake of my life. I seriously thought I was gonna die, guys. It was so scary. So I kind of started walking around the upstairs looking at all like the different window possibilities. And there was this one window right above the staircase. It was facing the side of the neighbor's house. And thank God I had talked to this neighbor before, because she saw me walking this dog one time and like called me over. Was like, hey, once you're done walking them, can you come over? I want to like talk to you about possibly you taking care of my dog one day. And so like I have this lady's contact info, and like I talked to her, met her and everything, been in her house and whatnot. So it's like I need to somehow get her attention, because if she's home, she will help me. Because also when I was gone for the 4th of July trip, she took care of this dog in place of me. So she knows the house, she knows the dog. So I was like, I hope and pray that she's home right now. So I cracked open the window and I just started yelling for help. And at this moment, things really sunk in. Like I was scared and terrified the entire time, but when I was yelling out the window, it really made me feel like I was really, really, really in danger. So that's when things really sunk in for me. But I was yelling, help, help, someone help me. I'm in the insert color house. I don't want to say, just for the sake of privacy. But like, that's all I was yelling, because like in my moment, I could not remember for the life of me the actual like address, like number address. So like I wasn't yelling that. I was yelling like the color of the house. I was like, I'm in this house. Someone please come help me. Thank the heavens for this lady, the neighbor that I just mentioned, because she walked out of her house, but she saw me in the window immediately and she was like, oh my gosh, what's going on? And I told her what happened, and she went to the front door and she was like, okay, I'm gonna get his attention. I'm gonna get him close to the front door, get him distracted. And when I tell you, you're gonna tiptoe down those stairs and you're gonna sprint out the back door. And that's exactly what happened. She got his attention, got him closer to the front door, and I sprinted out the back door, and then I had to go around the front because my keys and phone were still inside. So then she went around the back, got him distracted to go back there so then I could run in for a second and grab my keys and phone and come out. Goodness. So many things happened. It's so weird talking about it. I'm like not fazed by this story anymore, but like in the moment, so scary, so traumatizing. I was shaking for so long. My heart rate was so high. Just terrifying. And I'm so grateful for this lady and her husband too. He came to help out as well. For them, I am so grateful for them, because seriously, without them, I think I would have been stuck there for a long time. And thank God that they knew the house and knew the layout of the house and the dog. She wasn't able to like obviously like grab the dog so I can run out or anything, because this dog was definitely on, what's the word? He was in defense mode. He was defending his house for sure at that point. Like he was so stressed out. He didn't understand what's going on either. I'm not mad at the dog necessarily. I'm just mad at the situation, because I can understand from his point. He was probably so stressed out. He's probably been going through so much over the last like month, not even. So it's like, and he's such a sweet boy too, that I don't think he normally acts like this, but I think he was just under too much stress, I believe. That's what he resorted to. But it was so terrifying. And the neighbor, the lady that helped out, she like was like, go to my house, go in the bathroom, you can look at it. She put some hydrogen peroxide on it for me, so I was bonding because she got to see my butt. And she saw me at like probably the most vulnerable state I've ever been in my entire life. It was so scary. So yeah, anyways, that was that story. I'm just glad I got out of there without getting harmed too horribly. because quite frankly, in my mind, after that situation, was going to some dark places and reliving that situation over and over again and reliving it with new scenarios of like what could have happened, worse things that could have happened. Like if I wasn't already in the process of getting up and out of the way when he first started growling at me, would I not have had enough reaction time to get out of the way and like into the bathroom? Like would he have been able to like basically tackle me and attack me then when I'm very vulnerable and can't get up? What would have happened if I decided to actually like go down the stairs when he was at the bottom of them and try and like just literally walk right past him, probably touching him a little bit and going right past him? Like he was right at the bottom. Like I would have had to literally skim past him. If I tried to do that, he probably would have literally attacked me, and I hate even thinking about how bad he could have attacked me. But like this is where I'm like, his size really is a major factor. Like if it was a small dog, I could have defended myself a lot easier, but a big dog that is probably the same size as me, maybe even a little bit more, it's scary to think about how he probably could have hurt me so bad that I would have died. You know what I mean? Like I don't know if that's extreme to even think about, but I don't think it is, because he's a big dog. He was not in a good mood, clearly. And if he tried to bite me the first time, he would 100% do it again when he's even more stressed out and scared, just like me. And like his face, his head is probably like, his height is probably about the same as like my hip. So it's like, just think about the part of the body that his mouth would have naturally like gone to, like my midsection where all the important things are, you know? So it scares me to think about him possibly biting me there and me not being able to get up and help myself and get out of the situation and like get help quickly enough, kind of thing. So it's like, part of me is like, I'm pushing it a little as far as like the scary thoughts go of like the scenarios of what could have happened, like the extent of what could have happened. But at the same time, like I think it's completely irrational that it could have been way worse and I could have maybe not made it out of there, kind of thing. Like it felt like that, and my brain definitely kept exploring all of the possibilities after that day. So anyways, safe to say I don't take care of that dog anymore. And I seriously hope that he gets better and he settles in, because I think he's an amazing dog, and I think he's just under a lot of stress and he's not adapted yet to the change of his life. So I don't blame the dog at all. I don't think you can blame the dog ever, because it is their natural instinct, you know? We're the ones that are domesticating them. We're probably more the problem than the dog is. And I'm also not necessarily blaming the owner, but I'm not blaming the owner, because I think she probably should have eased him better into the move and like maybe took less hours right away in work. But I don't know how much she can control, you know? So it's like, I don't want to blame anyone, but the situation was really scary, and I think the dog definitely would have been okay if he had more time to ease into the move and ease into a new life in Indiana. But anyways, I think that's enough as far as that goes. Okay, I don't even fully remember what I was talking about before Kobe came back from his walk, but one thing I did want to just like touch on that I find kind of funny yet also relieving is how during the situation of like the dog attack, where I screamed, it was scary to like hear myself scream, like actual like a terrified scream, But it was also so relieving because I don't know about you, but I dream a lot when I sleep. And obviously that means that I also have nightmares too. And in nightmares when you're sleeping, you cannot scream. I also don't know if that's just me, but I don't think it's possible for anyone because it's like you're sleeping, you're not making actual noise with your voice. So it's like in scary situations, you literally can't scream when you try to scream. It's just like air coming out. And it actually caused like a slight fear in me that in scary situations, I would not have the ability to scream. Because in real life, I'm also like such a quiet person. So I'm like, am I gonna be able to? So like it was scary and so not funny to hear myself like scream out of horror, but also so relieving that I am capable of it. So anyways, that was the thick of it that I wanted to talk about because it was just so crazy and so interesting. But I'll see you for the rest of the vlog for whatever I do. Okay, hey guys, it's the next day and I'm gonna take you with me on a little solo date. I've been in a really big reading phase right now and I want some more books, and there's a bookstore here called Half Price Books that I've been to a few times, and so we're gonna go there and we're gonna look around, hopefully find something good. I have a few books in mind, but we'll just go and see what happens and get some books for half the price, which is always nice. So let's go do that.
I can't let you go, baby. I just want to tell you that. No, 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 no. Yeah.
All right, I'm finished up at the bookstore and let me tell you, I did some damage, okay? I spent a lot more money than I expected to. I did not expect to find as many books as I did. I did go in there with a list though, and like some books in mind, so like that helped, because usually the bookstore is so overwhelming to me and I can never find anything because what the heck am I supposed to choose? How do I look at everything and know what I want? So anyways, let me show you what I got. First book, Throne of Glass. A friend recommended this to me. I have never read fantasy fiction, but I started reading it in the store and I was like, I'm already sucked in and I only read one page. So I got it. So that should be good. Second book, The Housemaid is Watching. Heard this one was really scary. Thought that'd be fun for spooky season coming up soon. I'm also reading The Shining right now, and also watching Supernatural. So I think I'm just in a spooky mood. So I had to get something along those lines. And this one seemed interesting. People seem to like it. So next one, very popular right now. Funny Story by Emily Henry. Emily Henry seems to be like the author of the summer. Her books are just so pretty. But people seem to love them. I heard Funny Story was really good. I've heard some of her other ones weren't as good, but Funny Story seemed to be the one that people can agree on really liking, so went with that one. Okay, next, kind of along those same lines, Yours Truly. Just another romance novel, I believe. People seem to love this one as well, so kind of just went with it. Okay, and then this last one. This was the only one that I didn't know about. The cover is so pretty, and so it made me pick it up, and it seemed interesting. But it's called Last House. I don't know. I'm not good at giving descriptions, so I'm not gonna. You guys can look it up. But it seemed interesting, so I kind of just went with it. So anyways, that was my book haul. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video too. It was a lot cozier, not a lot going on, just a lot of chit-chatting and hanging out, really. I'll see you in the next one though.